We're looking at it.
Boy, looking at this picture here with a lot of the family at the funeral in Erin.
Let me see it. Let me see it. Where's
Real family, you know.
Way boy, I wonder if anybody could recognize anybody here. Hey, they're looking real smart that way. I love one thing with Asian people, boy, they're real pretty and nice, you know. And them two fellas, they with them hat on that side.
Them is cowboys, you know.
Them is real Seco boys of Erin, you know. And Palo and them boy. And the cracker smoke here too, you know.
Yes.
Very nice, man, very nice. What was this occasion again?
My cousin's funeral.
Your cousin funeral?
Yeah.
Oh my. Who was that? That was this lady?
My beloved Gillian. We had lots of wonderful childhood memories. She's one of the cousins I was by with when they had to pull me off the donkey when the donkey came under the house.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, she's the eldest of the girls.
Oh my. I guess she was a real nice lady in Erin. Everybody loved Gillian.
Yes.
This is Ellis' mom, you know. This is Ellis' mom. She looked well, and she looked well, eh?
Very good.
She
Very
looked pretty, man. Very natural.
Yes, Melissa looked like her a lot.
Melissa, yeah, boy. Anyway, Louise, girl, all of this could be part of our diary. Hey, you know what I'm going to buy for me, girl? I'm going to buy a nice book. I start writing, but I really want to start writing in a diary. I never had a diary, you know.
Of course, you get Gary Curry to give you a diary every year.
But I never
From
used them.
Innovative, you never should use them.
But I'm talking about a diary where I could start putting on personal events.
Yes, well, a diary is always for personal events.
So there's nothing new as in it.
No, you do it as if it's a private and confidential written on it.
Hey, diaries just get people into trouble too, you know. You
Yeah.
write down the wrong thing in a diary and the wrong hands get on it.
The right hand.
The right hand?
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you something now. I take a little story here, and I want this to be the first story in my diary. I hope you're buying this book because I ain't know where all them books you're talking about going.
But listen to me now. Diaries will be just a little one-page thing. This set of thing you are there, or 3 or 4 pages. You can no diary, big soul ants. You have to write on foolscap paper. A diary is about half of this, Lancy.
No.
This is the size of a diary.
All right, well, let me read this story.
Right?
All right.
You are about like 6 pages in a diary. The other put the same day with 6 pages for you.
All right, let me read this story for you.
I
All
got
right.
tell me diary you want out.
Yeah, diary. Let me read this story for you, right? Grandpa's diary. For starters, a very rare Sunday. Okay, let me say, I really need a book then. What's called them books again? Full
You need a copybook. A foolscap notepad.
Okay. Grandpa's diary. For starters, a very rare Sunday. You want to hear the story?
Of course. Why do you think I sit down here listening?
Grandpa never kept a diary, so it was quite a surprise when he said to Grandma, "Honey, I'm going to start a diary." There he was then, walking around the house, through the garden, outside on the pavement, over at Takariga's Etihad Savannah, taking in the evening's carnival enthusiasts, warming up to frenzied music designed for aerobics, all the while looking for material to document. As one NP employee joked once, Crazy the Calypsonian was asked why he walked the Tunapuna pavement with his eyes riveted to the concrete pathway. Crazy's alleged reply, looking for material to sing.
Well, you're looking for material to write.
Okay? Keeping a diary of personal events has more romantic overtones than reality permits, he said to Grandma. He said to Grandma one night as she handed him a lemonade special in a green can. "I am wearing out my 5-year-old sneakers, looking for stuff to document. Is this just fantasy?" Grandma was sympathetic. She herself never kept a diary. "It's stored up here," she would say. A bit. Tapping her head. When I'm ready, I close my eyes and turn the pages. Papa, yo.
Granny could talk, yeah?
Gosh, Granny full
You
of
could write and Granny could talk.
However, Grandma was sure Gramps was approaching the issue with rather cockeyed. She offered, why not start with your struggle to find a topic and make it simple and funny? Funny things bring release from stress. Grandpa nodded in agreement. Still, he just couldn't put pen to paper nor fingers to keyboard. Then Sunday came. 7:30 a.m. Grandma was in the kitchen doing a one-pot. Palo with pork, chicken foot, and bits of chicken breast, jostling for space in the rice. The house swooned with a juicy aroma. Grandpa reached for his diary. He had begun to move around with the diary as if it were a six-shooter. Grandpa smacked his lips as he pulled a chair at the dining table. He slowly opened the diary at the first page. Blank lines stared back reproachfully. Grandpa looked at Grandma as she lifted the pot's lid and turned the contents. The pot let out steam amidst a bubbling sound. The hot lid dropped liquid as Grandma covered the pot. Grandpa loved this woman dearly. Their marriage was a long one and getting more precious every day. This morning her hair was open and fell loosely at the shoulders. The strands were graying, but still bore the charm of their tender years together. Grandma had lately renewed her walks in the neighborhood, and the efforts were proving healthy for mind and body. Yeah, I could see that, man. I could see that. Grandma extracted a bowl of fresh greens from the refrigerator, food containers from the pantry, and carefully placed them on the island, her kitchen's workstation. Grandpa sat still, taking in the homely scene. Grandma moved silently from pot to sink, pantry to fridge, all the while singing a verse from a hymn. Grandpa knew the hymn, but quietly hummed the chorus. It spoke of having a tender and true heart. Grandma's daily desire above all things, even above her beloved husband's kind attention. Grandpa's eyes shifted to the wall clock. He considered that Grandma was on schedule for the morning. Soon the fellowship meetings in their home would start, a weekly event that brought divine peace into their souls. It promised again a fresh taste of heaven on earth. Grandma opened the food boxes and began filling them with pilau, topped off with greens and a sprinkling of homemade pepper sauce.
You can eat some of that now?
I just had some of your roti, you know. Grandpa's pen had not launched a stroke in his hardcover diary. He sat still until Grandma requested his help. He was reluctant to be separated from his diary, but he had to support her. It was always like this in all 51 years of marriage. The 1 hour meeting was over at 11 a.m. By 11:20, the green Cifero was swiftly on its way south. Business places and elaborate homes flashed by along the Uriah Butler Highway. He went past Chagonas and Freeport unhindered. The traffic was unlike the weekdays when all of Trinidad turned out for work. Well, not all, some for fun. Grandpa looked at his Trinidad rushing by. How our sweet country has developed in past years, he thought. I must mention this in my diary, he purposed. They had just crossed Couva when the driver, Grandpa's son-in-law, said he was hungry. They had brought drinks, so it was like old times, pilau and apple jay on wheels for 4 famished travelers. Signage, said the son-in-law as we neared the David turnoff, needs to be improved. The exit sign is beyond the traffic, the turnoff point. In true, right? Suchet Road bypasses David. Everyone knows this. Grandpa had forgotten this. One more for the diary, he grinned. The driver's wife was intrigued that on this Sunday, vegetable stalls along Suchet Road which leads to the point just beyond the bridge dividing Pinal from Davie, were beaming with reasonably priced lush tomatoes, cucumbers, bodie, avocados, pumpkins, celery, and more. "Stop," the wife pleaded. "We can't," the driver responded. "We're running late." But the traffic was snagged. Wasser was doing something along Suchet Road, obviously resurfaced recently. "A familiar scene," remarked Grandpa. "One more for the diary." Grandpa glanced at Grandma. She looked beautiful in a black and white cream splashed two-piece dress and jacket, her hair combed with that familiar bun. You still have that bun? Wow, wow, wow. Serene and simple. He reached over and touched her garment. It felt so soft and friendly. Pinal was quiet this Sunday. No bustling activity at this hour, 12:30. Uphill to Siparia, our driver recalled his cycling days. We had heard the story before and will hear it again on the return journey. We listened politely both times. After all, thought Grandpa, we do have our favorite memories. They might not excite others, but they mean a lot to us. Another one for the diary. Zipping past sun-drenched Siparia, Quarry Village, and Santa Flora, we finally arrived in Palo Seco, where Grandma would meet her childhood relatives. Plenty family, from Erin and environs and Ikakas, all gathered to bid a final farewell to Grandma's beloved cousin, Marcia Singh. Again, the focus on Jesus, followed by stirring eulogies, with the odd movement of culture and the hope of the future in the midst of the quiet presence of dreaded but acceptable death. Sitting quietly in his seat, Grandpa had coined the expression, "in the midst of the quiet presence of dreaded but unacceptable death," or acceptable death. He thought he would write unavoidable death instead. Several had come across to say hello to Grandpa and Grandma. Someone mentioned that today is my birthday. In the midst of death, life goes on. We wish that person a happy birthday with all its blessings for the future. A fine couple indeed, they were. Country folk have no reservations about introducing themselves. Neither do we, thought Grandpa, being products ourselves of such a background and an uncomplicated era at that. We might not visit each other often, but we are glad to meet at weddings and funerals. No surprise then when someone suggested a group photo be taken. A jostle around to facilitate the camera, a solid cheese, and voila! Etched into photographic history is this collection of country faces, family for life, which is what we showed at the very beginning.
Yeah, that photo.
That photo we showed at the beginning, right?
Right, a long set of pages, boy.
Yes, but it's almost over. But Grandpa and Uncle Chino are not in the photo. As with active bladders and a closed toilet that until a while ago was open, they retreated to quiet spots behind a wooden building and a huge pantry. Ah, to pee or not to pee? Uncle Chino, said Grandpa, why do seniors place their hands on the wall and look down when they pee? Because they don't want to lose balance or wet their shoes. They ain't young as they used to be, he laughed.
True.
David with its Indian delicacies drew us like magnet, but not before an abrupt stop at a vegetable roadside stall manned by friendly female faces. Good prices, good stuff, good service. Grandpa was anxious for his diary. David was as busy as a stretch of St. James, the city that never sleeps in the north. Everything smelled tasty. Sizzling pots ignored the vehicular noise and loud, steady rumble of a fuel tanker blocking traffic as it waited patiently to enter the gas station opposite the delicacies shops. A man walked past Grandpa and stood outside the Cefiro absorbing the beehive scenes. Uncle, you come out far for an evening drive, eh? Good for you, said the friendly voice. He burped and moved on, smiling and fully satisfied. Grandpa loves Kuchori, Sahina, and Pulori. Lie. Grandpa loves all Indian food. Grandma had sahina and aloo pies with peppery chutney. Somewhere along the northbound highway, Grandpa spilled fragments of kachori and apple jay on the back seat of the Cifero. His buttocks felt wet and sticky with the apple jay. He managed to retrieve the fragments of kachori and sahina and hoped his son-in-law didn't notice the spill in the rearview mirror. Grandpa was anxious to begin his diary. He now had material.
Very good.
Yes. I take a little bow myself, a little bow. But you know, writing is such a wonderful thing. Eh? You don't have to be an expert to document any little event. Any little event in the home, around the place, in the community. You go for a stroll, you know. It's nice to be able to just write something. It's not going to win any big time awards, but just to keep, you know, I think it's one of the ways too that you could help the onset of Alzheimer.
Yeah.
And preferably, I don't know. I mean, while we like to type on iPads and computers, I find writing with a pen, putting it on paper, the construction, because you have to be sure. You know, if you're doing this on your computer, and you type in a word and you're going to say thanks, as you spell TH, it just pops up and you press it.
Yeah.
But you have not exercised your mind.
That's
So
true.
perhaps what our children need to do is like what we did a long time in school, dictation, maybe they still do it. Penmanship. Write things on paper. It's the old way of doing things.
Well, let's see.
Think of fellas like Mark
Original
Twain
way.
and
The original way.
the original Mark Twain, Ernest Hemingway, right? Even Samuel Selvon in his day would have used an old typewriter, but he would have written. I remember Owen at the Express would be writing the editorials, and he would write down a sentence or two, right? And you know, he would correct it here, then he would go to the typewriter and he would do it. And we found ourselves doing the same thing. You want to think about a construction of a sentence, and you write it out, and then you apply it to your typewriter.
Yeah.
But I think pen and paper really makes the big difference. What do you think?
Yeah. It's like a hard picture.
Yeah.
You watch a picture on the iPad, on the computer, or on your phone, but I don't know if it's been from the old time era where you had hardcover copy pictures in your album.
Yeah.
You know, and when you hold a picture in your hand and you look at it, it somehow you feel closer to it than looking at it on an iPad or computer, you know.
Well, anyway, folks.
But you have not. You seem to be getting better with the writing, man.
No.
Very, very
That was
explicit and detailed and.
Somebody said we should write a love story.
Well, that won't be hard to do.
Yeah, we just had to increase the love. And we'll increase the love.
It all depends on what they want in the love story.
I don't know what they want. Maybe somebody could throw out an idea of what would a love story consist of. What would a love story consist of? The beginning, continuation.
Well, every little romantic event.
You know what I think I start doing? I think I start going out there and asking couples when they pass by, do you love this man? Do you love this woman? Tell me your love story. You think I'll get far with that?
Maybe.
Maybe I might get a smack in the head too.
Somebody might say, love, what is that?
Okay. That would be a tragedy. Somebody asks you, what is love? Yeah. Love is more than just routine.
But long time I had some real nice love stories, you know, Denise Robbins and Barbara Catlin.
Oh, no. Nobody reads that stuff like that.
Those used to be really nice love stories. I used to read those. What was the popular one?
I don't
Mills
know.
and Boom.
Mills and Boom. Mills and Boom.
Mills and Boom.
And they went up in flames. Anyway.
Good love stories.
Thank you for
But we have a good love story, but I don't know how you could.
I know.
What that would be a real big book, you know, boy. 51 years of love to write about.
Yeah, I need a very big diary for that one.
I had to buy out a bookshop with pads, writing pads.
Anyway, Louise, thanks for your support, girl, and good night to you, girl?
Yes, and
Make it to your bedroom safely.
Nancy? Judy T, girl. I keep trying to remember your name. Anytime I say hailing out, Judy.
Boy, listen to me. I'm meeting people day by day, and I tell you, I am grateful for people who show interest. We try to make things, that have some value to help marriages and to help home life. Well, hope you enjoyed that story anyway. Good night.
All the best. Bye.